All right, you guys, I got a whole new set of plants. And oh my gosh, my room smells so good right now. I cannot believe how fresh it smells in here. I love it so much. So before I start with the plants, I just feel like I need to mention the scab that I have on my face. It's temporary. It's not a booger. I didn't want to let it stop me from making my video, so it's just going to be there. Okay, so I got lots of new plants and I don't know which one to start with. I got lots of new Hoyas, so I'll probably bunch those together and do them in a row. So maybe I'll start with the one that's not a Hoya. And then I did introduce a new genus to my plant collection, and I'm going to save that one for last. So let's go ahead and start with my oak leaf ivy. I got this from Lowe's and it was on the clearance rack. So it does look a little bit sad, but I've been eyeing this plant. Every time I go to Lowe's, I see it. It was originally $6.78 and I didn't want to spend that much money on this plant. I liked it, but not that much. But since it was half off, I got it for half off, so it was like $3.50 or something. I decided to snatch it this time. I'm gonna have to clip off some of the leaves that are dying, and I think I might try to propagate one of the stems as like an insurance cutting, because I've tried to do a plant rescue and it didn't go so well. I don't know that I'm the best person to be trying to rescue plants that are in poor condition. So I'm just gonna do the cutting, see if I can get it to propagate just in case this one doesn't make it. So I love how woodland this plant looks to me. I like feeling like I'm in a forest. And I love how the leaves are, they're kind of like asymmetrical. I think that's neat. And there's like these little fuzzy curly things on the ends, and I don't know what those are, but I will show it to you in the spotlight close-up. Here's the spotlight close-up I like to do with all my new plants. Whenever possible, I will give the scientific name, the common name, and the family name. I'll do my best to get these correct, but if you find that I get something wrong, please let me know. And please do so kindly. This plant is also called grape ivy. It is not in the same family as English ivy, but it is a woody vine and can trail or climb. Supposedly, this is a plant that can tolerate low light conditions. Okay, so the next plant is not really a new plant, but it kind of is. It's a propagation. It's a propagation that I started a long time ago. I don't even remember when. It was before I started making my videos. So it must have been months. And it has lots of roots now. They're really, really fine and small. But the plant, I mean, it has grown new leaves. And I'm going to have to plant it. I need to pot it. So I'm going to count this as a new plant, even though it is a clone, and it is my Peperomia Hope. Look at that thing. It started off as, I think it just had like these two nodes with these two sets of leaves at the bottom, and then it sprouted way up, and it has another set of leaves, and now it has another tiny set of leaves coming out. And it does have some good roots in there. I'm running out of water. I need to fill that up. But I am going to experiment with different substrates with my propagations and see which ones do the best out here in the desert conditions that I live in. So there's that. I don't know when I'm going to have time to pot this up, but I need to do it soon. This poor plant is badly in need of a home. I started this propagation maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and it has grown a lot of roots, and the tendril has sprouted very tall, and sometimes it falls out of the bottle. So I'll go ahead and start with the Hoyas now. And I'm going to start with the one that caught my eye at first on Facebook Marketplace. It was $5 and the listing was for a single leaf, but the seller was super nice because I ended up buying a whole set of plants from her because she lives kind of far from me. It was like almost a 30-minute drive, and I didn't want to drive all the way over there for one $5 plant. So I looked at all of her listings and she actually had a lot of $5 plants, mostly Hoyas. And so I decided to snatch them up. I also got my brand new GENUS from her, but I'm going to save that for last. So I'm not going to give away what that is yet. But here was the first one that caught my eye, and it's called Grapes, GPS 7240. So you can't see it right now, and I'm not going to flip it over, it'll fall out, but I'll show it to you in the spotlight close up. I looked it up online because it was only a single leaf. I wanted to see what it looked like when it was mature, and I thought it was really fun because it actually does look like grapes. um, so, I mean, it's so cute. And I think there is a new growth point coming out of it. So this one has 2 leaves, and I see a new tiny, very light green, like yellowish green note, growth point coming out. So I'm very happy about that. So let me show it to you up close. I am still at the beginning of my plant journey, and I'm still learning about all of my plants. The Hoyas have become my favorite genus so far. I used to think that all Hoyas needed high humidity, but I've just learned that this one actually prefers dry environments. Okay, I don't know which one to do next. Maybe I'll do the freckles. So I got Hoya freckles. This also is $5. And there's 2 very luscious looking leaves on here, very shiny. I just want to touch them. They look so plump. And she's got this little tiny trellis that looks so cute, with the tendril growing up there. Oh my gosh, I love Hoyas so much. They're like the cutest plant ever. And I love how easy they are to take care of. And I love how they are small because I'm actually scared of big plants because of the amount of maintenance I feel like it takes. Just so much water, and then I'm going to have to give this thing a stake. But I don't know. The Hoyas just seem very manageable to me. And I also love how they trail. Like the trailing plants are so beautiful to me. And then also I got some trellises, which I'm going to show you. I've been finding some really cute, cheap trellises for my Hoyas, and I can't wait to see them grow. All right, so I'll show you this one up close. I have just now learned that Freckles is also a Hoya carnosa. This will now be my 3rd Hoya carnosa. My other 2 are the Crimson Queen and the Nova Ghost. I'm reading online that the Freckles is a cultivar, which means it was cultivated by humans and would not be found in the wild. Since I mentioned the trellises, I will go ahead and show that. So I got these from Michael's, and they are just dowels, wooden dowels, super cheap. I think they were each like under $1. So I got a skinny one and a little bit thicker one. And what I'm going to do is cut the thicker one in half, and I'm going to make like a ladder. So the skinny one, I'm going to put across to make the ladder, and then I'm going to tie it together with jute string. I hope that works. I've never tried this before. I've never seen anyone do this before. I'm just going to give it a shot and see how it goes. And I think I'll use this for my Crimson Queen propagation. Next up for the trellis is this little thing. It's a metal, looks like a house shape, and I got this for $1.75 at Daiso. And I want to use this for my Hoya curtisii because that seems like a really small leafed Hoya. It doesn't seem like that one's going to grow very large, and so this is kind of small. And I just want to see it if it will kind of curl around up this little house. I think it would be so cute. And this one is a beautiful trellis. I found this at Hobby Lobby. Sometimes they have their half off sales, so I got this for 50% off. It was $7.99. It was $7.99 originally, so it was like $3.50 or something. And it's made of metal. I'm going to use this for my newest Hoya, which I will show you. And I don't know, I might have to like dig this last part into the soil in the pot and then see if the Hoya will maybe curl around. I don't know if it's like a perfect shape, but I'm hoping the tendrils will kind of just like weave its way through. If not, I'll just help it. And then here is a metal shelving thing that I found, like a wire net at Daiso. And again, $1.75 for this thing. And I'm thinking I will use this for my ivy. sometimes I get trellises and I don't know what plant I'm going to use them for yet. So I just kind of think about it for a while. And I mean, I don't have time to do it yet. So I do have time to think about it. But what do you think? Would this be nice with the ivy climbing all over it? I think that would be cool. Okay, next Hoya, I'm going to do the sunrise. So this one was also $5, I do believe. And it's got 5 leaves, also very plump looking. And I just love to touch the leaves. I love touching my Hoyas. But I think this one changes color with sun stress. So I'm looking forward to seeing that happen. I'm definitely going to repot all of these Hoyas, but not yet. I'm going to wait at least a couple of weeks. And also I don't have time to repot. I have so many repots to do. And then also, okay, I'm going to let you guys know, I am taking a private class today to learn how to make pottery because I want to make my own houseplant pots. I want to make them self-watering. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let you know how it goes after today. But here is a close-up of my sunrise. The sunrise is a hybrid between Hoya lacunosa and Hoya obscura. And as always, please double check any information that I give here because I'm just Googling it. Some of the leaves are buried in the soil. I would like to repot this plant. I'm curious to see what the root system looks like. The leaves look luscious and healthy, but I do not see any new growth points yet. I will show the repotting of this plant in my future plant tours videos. All right, next I'm going to do my Polyneura. So she called this Polyneura green. I don't know if it's supposed to be a different color or not, but it looks really cute to me. I love how the leaves are like spade shaped, I guess, but they come to a really sharp point at the end and curl. It's the cutest thing. And then it's kind of stripy also. Yeah, it's got the really striking veination in it. It's so cute. I love it. I believe this to be one of the more unique Hoya species. It is often called fishtail Hoya or even sometimes mermaid tail, and I can see why. I hope that I will be able to enjoy the flowers of this plant one day because I hear they smell so good. And then I have Louisa's silver. I love silvery leaves, and also these are so plump looking. Oh my gosh, I just want to squeeze them. And it's got this little tiny tendril growing out. It's the cutest little plant. I love baby plants so much. I love watching them grow and seeing them go through their journey of life and reaching their potentials. Louisa's silver is a Hoya lacunosa. Apparently, this is one variety of this species that is more silver than the others. In fact, the leaves on this plant are almost entirely silver. I'm reading online that this plant is considered a collector's edition. This is definitely another unique species within my Hoya collection. All right, so the last Hoya that I got from the seller is this huge Hoya globulosa. I love these leaves. They are so big and they're so shiny. I just realized that the bottom is velvety. Wow, it kind of scared me for a minute. It's so soft down there. Oh, how interesting. And I could think the stem, no, it looks fuzzy on the stem, but it doesn't feel as fuzzy as the bottom of the leaf. How interesting. And the veination also is, it's not like so pronounced as far as like the color of it, but you can see how it kind of pops out of the leaf. I think this is so beautiful. I can't stop looking at it. This seems like it's going to be a large plant. So I'll go ahead and show you a close-up of that one. This is a beautiful plant. I have seen other plant people talk about their Hoya globulosas on their YouTube channels, and I even saw the plant that they were talking about, but the video did not do this plant justice. The leaves look almost like they're faceted and they're so shiny, like an emerald, some kind of gem. I do believe that the only reason I bought this plant was because it was so cheap, because the name of it, globulosa, actually turned me off. But now that I have this in my own hands and am looking at it with my own eyes, I understand that my first judgment of this plant was very wrong. Okay, so I have two more plants before I reveal the new genus that I got. And I think I'll show you my seed first. So I did a video, a house chores video, where I where I started to try to grow an avocado from seed. Um, but I found another one. So I love to eat avocado toast in the morning. And one of the seeds recently looked like it already had a root, like inside the fruit. I cut it open and I took it out and it was like already rooting. So I put it in some pond and I've got it filled all the way up with water because I want it to be like a water propagation, but within the pond. And the seed was already starting to crack. So there's like two huge cracks. And this is how I remember my successful avocado seed growing. It would crack and then the root grew first and then the little leaves or the stems started growing out from the top. So I hope that this is going to be successful. It is spring now, and since it already has a root and it's cracking open, I hope that this thing is going to bloom for me. I'm gonna have a little avocado tree again. I killed the first one. It was doing so well in the water as a propagation, and then I tried to put it in soil and I think I shocked it. Back then I didn't realize you had to acclimate the plant. So this time, if it works for me, I'm going to slowly acclimate it to the soil by keeping it just really super wet for a couple of weeks. Okay, so the next new plant, which is not a Hoya, is the air plant. My son loved my little air plant. He wanted to have one of his own. So I went to, I can't remember if it was Home Depot or Lowe's, but they had a whole line of packaged air plants. And I asked him which one he wanted from pictures. He picked out this one. He wanted a skinny leafed one, but I think he prefers my little tiny cute one. So I've been asking him if he wants to trade, but I don't think he wants to take my plant away from me. He's so cute. Maybe I'll just switch it out for him as a surprise. But there's the air plant. And then recently I went to Florida. I went to Gainesville, Florida, and I did not realize that they actually have air plants growing in their trees out there. So the Airbnb that I was staying at, my hostess showed me a picture of an air plant kind of like this, just growing out of the tree. It was so cute. And they have lots of Spanish moss out there, which is also an air plant. And they're so beautiful. I love the foliage out in Florida. People who live out there can have some really awesome plants, but I can't deal with the bugs. Air plants can be so cute and funny. I'm sorry I don't know the exact species name of this plant. I do know that I want to get more varieties of air plants into my collection. Oh wait guys, I forgot a Hoya. So this one I did not get from the same seller. I actually got this from Star Nursery, and I think it might be a Hoya Croniana Black. Uh, so for some reason, Star Nursery, they get these plants from, I don't know what seller, but whatever vendor it is, they don't label the species, like the specific species of the Hoyas. They just call it Hoya. So I have to guess. I do research online and try to figure out what my Hoyas are that I buy from them. And I don't know if you guys know what this is called. If I got it right, Hoya Croniana Black. I think that's what it is, maybe. But it's a baby plant. It was $5.98, so that's a good price. I like that. And it's got lots of tendrils, lots of potential for peduncles to grow on the end of them. And also, it will be great growing on a trellis. And actually, this was the plant that I wanted to use with this trellis because this is like a light sage green. And then this is like a dark, right? The black stems, I think is a good contrast. I think that's going to be really cool. What do you think? So I will show you guys me putting this together in my chores videos, but I will also show updates. So whenever I have a successful trellis growing of plants, I will put them in my updates, which I probably, it seems like I'm doing them now at the end of my new plant videos. So I'm going to show you some updates after all of my new plants, and that will be at the end of the video. Bonus. If you're a Hoya person and you were able to identify this plant, I would be so grateful. The leaves are mostly green, but there seems to be a little bit of black on some of the edges, and the stems are dark, almost black, which is different from the other Hoya, which I think is Acroniana also. That one has more green stems. I will love this plant no matter what, but ID is part of the fun. Let me just make sure that I got all the new plants before I reveal the surprise new genus. I did. Okay, so here it is. I'm looking at it right now. I've been wanting to get an Anthurium for so long, but I've been scared because it is so dry out here, and I know that they need some kind of humidity. The humidity out here, I don't know, it might be like 15% or something like that. And sometimes it feels even lower, especially when it gets really hot in the summer. And I'm just afraid of spending lots of money on a nice Anthurium and then it's going to die because it's too dry. But this one I got from the seller that I got all these Hoyas from, and she gave me a discount. So I got it for $10. But it doesn't have an ID. So I have no idea what kind of Anthurium this is, but it's okay because this is my starter Anthurium. I want to see how well I can get this to grow and see if it will just actually stay alive for me. And I've got it in my bathroom. I finally cleaned my humidifier. So I've got my humidifier on in my bathroom. And I think I have it set to about 31% ambient, I think you call it, ambient humidity. So we'll see how this thing does in there over time. It is in a self-watering container right now with the wick. I'm just going to keep it like this. I don't know, for a while. It is not a priority for me to repot this. The substrate looks fine to me. I like the setup. You know, I'm just gonna do a top water when it's ready, and then I'll dump out. I'll probably dump out the water maybe once a week and then refill it and give it the Super Thrive water that I have mixed up. But oh my gosh, I love Anthurium so much. And I love velvety leaves. I want to get more plants with velvety leaves. So you will definitely see more new videos of new plants with velvety leaves in the future from me. And here's the spotlight close-up of my new baby. The Anthurium genus has about 1,000 species of flowering plants. It is the largest genus of the arum family. The leaves on this plant feel so robust and firm. I just have a feeling that this plant is going to do very well. I look forward to adding more Anthuriums into my collection. Okay, so I've got some updates for you guys. I am going to show you my Hoyas that I got from, I think, Home Depot, the Leaf Joy ones. When I first got these two Hoyas, they were so dry looking and they didn't look that great to me, but I just wanted to get them because they were cheap. They were like $6. And I was just like really wanting more Hoyas in my life. And I'm super glad that I got them. I've been keeping this in my bathroom where it gets strong indirect morning light. And then now they've got the sun stress, and the pink is the most beautiful pink. So like my Hoya Carnosa Crimson Queen has sun stress, and the pink is more of like, let me see. Oh, it's right here. It'll turn kind of like almost a red, and then the pink is like, it's hard to describe the pink. It's like a darker pink. So I guess the Crimson Queen is more like a purpley pink, but this one is kind of like a, I don't know, I want to say like a sunset pink. It makes me think of a sunset pink. It's so beautiful. So this one has like just the one leaf right here, and I'll show you close up. And then this one has these right here and this tiny new one right here. Look how bright that is. It is so beautiful. I love this so much. And now the leaves look much more healthy. They don't look moist like some of the other Hoya leaves do, but they're definitely more plump, if you can say that. These are super hard. Like they feel like foam. almost like foam or something. They're super hard, but they definitely look much more healthy. And this almost feels velvety, like, I don't know, does this have a fuzz on it? I feel like it does, but just really small. Wow, I'm super happy about this. The first time that I showed this plant, I did not know the species name, but someone kindly identified this for me. But still, the name only identifies this Hoya as one that resembles or has an affinity to another species. There is the tiny new leaf that came out the color of the sunset. The same person also helped me to identify this Hoya. It's interesting how these two different Hoyas are similar in colors, but have very different shaped leaves. I wish I could have done a better job of capturing the color of these leaves. The video really does not do it justice. I will try to get better with my videos in the future. Okay, and look at that. My holiday cactus has got a brand new bloom, and it's got the pollen coming out. Look at that. And it's got a little tiny bud right there. So it is springtime. I thought this thing only bloomed when it was cooler, like in the autumn and winter, but there you go. There's a new bloom. When I first showed this plant, I called it a Christmas cactus because I was gifted it that way. But someone kindly let me know that it's actually a Thanksgiving cactus. Back then, I did not realize that they were two different species. You can tell the difference between the Christmas and Thanksgiving cactuses because of the shapes of the flowers and the leaves. So I do think I have other updates to show you that I recorded much earlier. So I'll go ahead and just put those clips at the end of the video. Thanks. This is one of my favorite plants of all, and I am so rooting for this thing to succeed under my care. Since transplanting it into the pond, it has grown longer roots. This one root now reaches all the way down to the bottom. And look, there is a little nub of a new leaf. I am so hopeful for this plant. And here's my beautiful Thai constellation, another favorite plant of mine. The new leaf has hardened and darkened, and you'll never guess, there is a little nub of a leaf, a brand new leaf. I do not exaggerate if I tell you that I check these plants multiple times per day, watching these leaves grow. The main question I always have with my Thai constellation new leaves is always, I wonder how many fenestrations it's going to have. And there is an aerial root to the first one. What do we have here? It is my Hoya sigulatus. I was so worried about this plant. I do believe I got it as an unrooted cutting, and it was not doing very well in the open air. Since enclosing it in this jar, it now has 2 new growth points. There is hope. Thank you for watching, and please enjoy your plants.